Good afternoon. My name is Tanya Majensky, and I would like to thank everyone for being here on behalf of my family to honor and celebrate my mom's life. When Dad asked me to do this, my first thought was, I don't think I'm going to be able to get through it. Because when I think to myself, if I become half the person she is, I'll be a pretty special person. And I say this not in past tense, because as long as I have air in my lungs, she will always be with me. Mom came from a very large family with 13 brothers and 1 sister. They didn't have much, but what they had was what they needed. And it made Mom appreciate what she had. And in 1971, a young Dad went to a party at my man Oliver's house with my mom's brother Bill. And Dad kind of took a liking to Mom, but it was a one-sided liking. When Uncle Bill asked Mom why she didn't like his friend Don, she simply said, "Every time I see him, he's drinking." But obviously, he turned on the charm and won her over. In talking to Mom's brother Carl this week, he told me the first time he met Andrea's new boyfriend. Remember I said they came from a large family with little. Carl said that the night Dad came to pick Mom up, he was greeted by 13 protective brothers sitting around the kitchen table, eating raisin bread and molasses, which was very much a treat to be able to have molasses. Pop Oliver asked Dad if he'd like to sit and have some lassie bread. And very politely, Dad said, "No, thank you, Mr. Oliver. I just finished a steak." Mom's 13 brothers looked at each other and said, "What the hell is a steak?" And on July 7, 1973, they married. Their wedding song was "Walk Through This World With Me" by George Jones. And they lived it to the fullest. They walked through the world together, side by side, never separated. When Brenda and I were kids, we never heard Mom and Dad fight or argue. The only time we knew something was up, Mom would slam the cupboard doors right off the hinges. During one of these slam sessions, Dad was reading the paper, and when Mom tired from removing the cupboards from the walls, he lowered the paper and said, "Are you done?" She gave him a coffee to go, because the mug she was drying barely missed his head. Mom was a stay-at-home mom until I was in high school, so when it came to discipline, we never heard, "Wait till your dad gets home." Because if the truth be told, we were far more afraid of Mom than we ever were Dad. When Mom spoke, you moved. And if you wanted to debate the issue, you best be able to run faster scared than she could now. Mom loved to tell a good story. As most of you are well aware, and 9 times out of 10, Dad was the brunt of most of her stories. Like the night the neighbors thought there was a wounded bear loose in the neighborhood. Or the unforgettable rat trap cheese story. Mom and Dad have lived in Greenwood for 17 years, and they had numerous friendships. Brian and Shirley Smith, Marty and Early Arsenault, Margie and Rod Chubbs, and Bert and Caroline Clayton. But in the past 3 years, since Mom was diagnosed, she had no greater friends than her stitch-and-bitch partners, Marty and Carol. The strength she got from their numerous stories, the bitching and laughter, is what helped her carry on her daily battle with her illness. Mom worked for the Canics for 16 years, and she loved her customers and her job. She could be found out back on the loading dock with a bottle of Pepsi and a smoke, telling a story, sure to make all within earshot laugh. During her times there, she made many wonderful friendships that she carried on till the end. Rochelle Best and Judy Hardiman were the recipients of many loading dock knee slappers. I taught Mum to cross-stitch the Easter she was diagnosed, and I think I created a monster. She would rather cross-stitch a stocking than take time to eat. She loved Christmas, snowmen, and collecting angels. But the thing she loved most of all was being here at the Legion. Whether it was playing bingo or darts on Friday night, I have seen on occasion where she would leave Kentville from having chemo and come directly here to work in the kitchen with Brian McDonald, laughing and carrying on. Get out of my head, get out of my head. I would say it was that dedication that earned Mom the Volunteer of the Year award in 2011. Mom loved her grandchildren. From the oldest to the youngest, she was proud of each and every one of them. Marshall, Nicholas, Johnny, and Emma. Once we started giving her these bundles of joy, we gave her one every year. Until she said, "Lord, blessed Jesus. Would you guys cut it out and give me a couple of years in between?" She said, "Because your poor father's going to have to get a second job for Christmas and birthday presents." And we did. Maxwell arrived 8 years later, so she can't say that we didn't listen. For those of you who know my husband John, he dabbles in poetry. So I had asked him to do something up for me. And in less than 5 minutes, this was what he come up with. As angels fly. As my mom's spirit rises to the sky, to be among the Lord and angels fly. With the protection of the Lord Jesus, I am ready to embrace death. With the love of her life, holding her hand, hearing her last breath. She has lived as a philosopher and died as a Christian. To make people feel loved and wanted was her life's ambition. Farewell, my friends, I have gone to glory. I leave behind only my life story. Even though my time here was short and sweet, this walk to the pearly gates just couldn't be beat. Our destination is a place far greater than we know. For some the journey's quicker, for some the journey's slow. As I look down upon you all to watch over things, I now have received my greatest gift, my very own angel wings. Just as the good Lord has a special gift to each of you, he gave one of his special angels named Andrea Ryu. So please don't be sad for me because I had to die. I am now among the miracle givers as the angels fly. As the most powerful visual statement I can make here today is if my mom has ever touched your life in any way, please put your hands together and applaud her life to show your love.